Show. Andy and Castoe, King of Castoe Show.
It's like a game of inches when it comes to like, but like up until then, we'll see.
Oh,
So-
buddy, I play with inches.
No, every day. Okay.
I'm alone.
So at the very bottom, at number 18,
18.
I put The Lady Killers.
The Lady Killers? That's great. I didn't watch Lady Killers, and that was sounded like a big fat fucking stinker.
God, so The Lady Killers feels like a movie directed by somebody else. It feels like on paper the premise is like guys try to steal money from a casino while conning like an old Christian woman, and eventually it gets to the point where it's like
black.
Yeah, she's black. Marlon Wayans says a line and she slaps him and goes, "Mind your tongue, boy, this is a Christian household."
Marlon Wayans.
Yeah. It just like it feels like a bad mid-2000s comedy movie, and it is a bad mid-2000s comedy movie.
It is.
And it also has that thing where, you know, in the Oh Hello on Broadway where they're like, "What the is that the end of the play?" Like it has one of those type of endings. Where I'll have 2 root beers.
Yeah,
Man.
Riddle me this, because I was not able to watch The Lady Killers. God bless for me not being able to do that. But I feel like when did this movie come out? 2000
Like 2005?
2004 came out.
Okay.
Yeah. 04. I feel like god damn it, check the docket. Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay. So I feel like by 2004, the Coen brothers had their thing, you know?
Yes.
Like very clear style of filmmaking. Was that present in Lady Killers at all?
Not really that much at all. There was like a couple shots and a couple whatevers, but not really. And again, it has the aesthetic. It's shot like a bad mid-2000s comedy, and it feels like a bad mid-2000s comedy, and almost everyone here is doing their worst work. This has like Tom Hanks doing a foghorn leghorn drawl.
I say.
I say we have chamber musicians. It has the Gary from Remember the Titans doing like an actual mongoloid voice as like the big dumb guy. Yeah, it's like this was the only one that was like a struggle for me to be like, oh my god, I gotta watch like an hour.
But it has J.K. Simmons and Seema.
Yeah, and it took 25 minutes for them to get to like the bare premise of the movie. Like I didn't know what the premise was until 25 minutes into this like hour and a half movie.
All right. Well, I feel like we spent enough time dicking down this movie that nobody ever saw ever really. Number 18.
Number 18 for that. Number 17. I put the Hudsucker Proxy.
You put the Hudsucker Proxy.
I listen. I think it hit. You tell me, bud. But the Hudsucker Proxy.
I didn't enjoy it at all. I did not enjoy it at all.
The Hudsucker Proxy hits its notes like. Okay, I'll tell you when the Hudsucker Proxy is a good movie. When he's hula hooping in the boardroom, to when they stop talking about the hula hoop, and then it's like
that's the most Coen brothers feeling in the entire movie. Other than that,
exactly.
It's like,
when it's the shot of all of the aristocrats hula hooping, A plus movie, like cinema. Martin Scorsese cinema, love it. It's exactly what I go to the movies for. But everything before and after, and you can probably back me up on this, it feels like an Adam Sandler movie where it's like goofball joins a company and circumstances like make him the head of the company, and then he's he's a goofball with weird ideas, but they work because he and it's like some of it's good when it's like
you put a little sand in it
when he pulls up
pleasure or whatever the fuck this.
Yeah, ribbed. When he puts up the piece of paper that has like the circle on it, and he goes, for kids. I think that's really funny.
Yeah, that bit it got some. There were a couple times in the movies where it got some chuckles out of me, right?
Yeah, but it's certainly not like.
Yeah. But would you say now the other movie that I turned a blind eye to on this list was Intolerable Cruelty?
Intolerable Cruelty, I have 2 above Hudsucker Proxy.
too above
because
Hudsucker Proxy.
because there's a couple plot things in Intolerable Cruelty that do not work for me. It is a romantic comedy, so there a rom-com, but it also has like genuinely like funny performances some of the time. Richard Jenkins, friend of the channel, Richard Jenkins, also known as the dad from Step Brothers.
He has a fucking hit out for both of us. You know this.
Yeah, does he really? For what? What did we do?
Our Wukong video really pissed him off.
Oh no. Well,
yeah, he was on Instagram Live about it.
Let me tell you this though, Richard. Your performance here when Catherine Zeta-Jones like rips up a paper and you go, just like that got a laugh out of me. But there's like certain plot points that don't make sense. Like 15 minutes before the end of the movie, they introduce a hitman subplot. Insane.
Okay, well, hold on, buddy. Before I need to wrangle you here for a second.
Okay, wrangle me.
I'm fine putting Hudsucker at 17.
Okay. Listen, I have my own list.
Also, the salad guy was in there.
Regardless,
what?
The salad guy, Paul Newman doing again probably my least favorite Paul Newman performance because it's nothing. It's nothing.
Mr. Salad Man.
Hey, Paul Newman. I know Paul Newman can act. I've seen Paul Newman act.
Whole lot of nothing. Really didn't dig the chick's accent, and it's like somebody brought Batman the animated series to live action. It was.
My name is Annie Archer, and I haven't won a Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah, see? I bet that bitch is ugly. And it's like, what the fuck do you know?
Yeah, but she slaps me. There's no easier way to blow your cover. Be like, what do you know? Idiot.
All right. Hudsucker 17. Let's move on to 16.
16, I put Blood Simple, which is their first movie.
Oh, buddy, I fucking hate Blood Simple.
Oh, you hated it? I thought it was pretty all right for what it was.
No. Listen. It's still Coen Brothers, right?
Yeah.
It's just... Oh God, my number one pet peeve in any movie is pacing, right? Like if a movie has bad pacing, it's so hard for me to get into it. And this one just felt like it dragged. I was like, and they used the theme every 2 seconds. I'm just going mad.
That's correct. They did reuse music a lot, but it's like I didn't mind the pacing in this one as much. It's just that it was like a very simple movie. Where most of the characters, you can see the hints that would show up in later movies, and when we get to like one of like the major like comparisons, I'll talk about it. But like you can see the hints when like some of the storytelling of it, the cinematography of it, that would like show up in their better movies. But it's it's a very simple movie about there's like 5 named characters.
It's like a student film.
Yeah, it feels like it feels like a pretty good student film.
Oh, it's a fantastic student film. I mean, like, you could still tell the bones of the Coen Brothers formula is there.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have really anything that makes them super special.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like this movie could have been done by a lot of other people.
It was, yeah. That's about
also,
right.
When I watched this, I was like, oh, shit. They really... like working with that lady.
Well, she's married to one of them. That's
I looked it up.
She's married to Joel or Ethan.
Hitched to one of those Jews.
Shout out your favorite Frances McDormand. Well, I mean, the best Frances McDormand role is.
We'll save that for later. We'll save
higher up on the list. Higher up on the list.
Foreshadowing. Subtle foreshadowing.
Subtle foreshadowing. Fargo.
Hey,
shut up. Okay.
All right. So
not much to talk about. Blood Simple.
That sounds about right to me.
Number 15 would be Intolerable Cruelty for me, which again I had fun with in some moments, but again, just you're talking about weird pacing problems. This movie has weird pacing problems, and like I said, they introduce like a hitman subplot about 15 or 20 minutes before the movie ends, and you feel. What? Yeah, and it's like it comes out of it doesn't come out of nowhere, but it's certainly resolved out of nowhere. It's certainly like, oh, that's a problem no more, and we don't have to worry about it anymore. Let us move on.
I feel like that's a theme, though. That's kind of a theme amongst some of these Coen movies. Is
but it just sort of
ball at a left field in like the last 20 minutes of the movie. How many times have we seen that?
Yeah, but in this movie in particular, where it's like it's basically Okay, so for a lot of it, it's Catherine Zeta-Jones and George Clooney just enjoying each other's presence on
Beneath the
screen.
lasers.
I did find myself singing that a lot watching this movie. Catherine Zeta-Jones. There's also, and this is like just a bare thing in the plot. Cedric the Entertainer plays like a private detective who catches cheaters.
Man.
That's his
Fuck
role.
Jesse Jackson. I'm sorry.
And he only shows up like really a couple times in the movie. But at the end, it's shown that he's the host of a show called America's Funniest Divorce Videos, and his catchphrase is "Watch these guys get their ass." You know, it's like I want that to be a real show that Cedric the Entertainer actually makes. It'd be so much fun.
Oh, Mac, you can be Cedric, and we can make this show.
I don't know if I'm have enough style and panache to be Cedric the Entertainer.
We'll just get you a tan and a purple suit, and that'll be great.
Oh hell yeah! But yeah, I enjoyed it, but I can't really put it any higher than it is. Like I enjoyed it, but again,
I'm not gonna lie.
These movies are fine. Like these movies are good. Like Blood Simple and Intolerable Cruelty, I think are like fine movies.
Like, see, I am the type of man to judge a book by its cover, and that is a whack poster for a movie.
Especially with the subtitle of "Engage the Enemy," right? It really isn't selling itself on its strengths.
Tells me nothing.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's 16, right?
Quick dick back to Hudsucker, real quick for like a second.
15.
I laughed really hard when he was reading the letter, and he kept going fall as opposed to fail, and then when it got to fall, he was supposed to say fail. That made me laugh. That was good.
A lot of little, there's good writing. Even amongst the stinkers, there's some good writing.
Number 14.
Number 14.
Miller's Crossing.
Miller's Crossing?
Miller's Crossing.
I could dig it being really high up there.
Miller's Crossing is a straight down the middle film noir. That it is really, I don't know. It is what it is, right? There's not much I can say or do about it besides being like it's a film noir, and if you like the film noir genre, you'll like Miller's Crossing, and if you don't, you don't. And there's not really much to be like. Yeah, it surprised me this way. It surprised me that way. It really didn't. I liked the opening shot of the top of the trees and the hat blowing away, and then it being
very artsy, right?
It especially with it being explained later by the main character of like. A dream I had as a kid was I would be looking through the trees.
The one with the hat. See,
yeah, and the Marissa Gay Harding, his lover is like, oh, and you would go catch the hat, and you go, no, who'd chase a hat? That's a stupid dream, and it's like that. Okay, that's his character. Like okay, I now understand completely what the man is about. Like,
yeah. Also, I'm just like their early movies. It seems like they were finding like gorgeous woman after gorgeous woman, like. In a row consecutively, who went on to have like fantastic careers.
Yes, various different gorgeous women.
Yeah, it's like where are these Coen brothers keep finding these broads?
We'll
over every rock.
We'll get to when we get to one of them. I'll talk about like who the Coen brothers were associated with at the early stages. Yeah,
but this I feel suffers from the same thing as kind of I mentioned before in like Blood Simple or with a lot of these other movies. It doesn't like sure there are glimpses of a Coen type writing and film style, but it nothing really feels genuinely them, you know?
Yeah, I get what you're coming from, and in fact, I have a movie that's like a couple spaces up specifically because it's like this movie, but like feels a little more them. Yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah, it's a film. It's a good one, but it's.
These are movies. All these movies thus far are movies that I like. Don't really care if I ever see again.
Oh, I will never watch Miller's Crossing again. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
And God dang it! Hold on. This is the first time that they had John Turturro pop up.
And he's a rat, and he's a weasel, and he plays it perfectly.
Oh, they had who's his weasel friend? Who's Mink? What's his name?
Steve Buscemi.
Buscemi was in there. And no, regular the Italian mob boss who played Frank's brother in Always
Joe
Sunny.
Polito.
Yeah,
Joe Polito.
Yeah, you'll see these guys a lot. Holy crap!
Joe Polito, I didn't remember was in one of my favorites until I just rewatched it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I never recognized him before. Yeah. So
right,
straight down the middle, not that impressive. In
Miller's Crossing, number 15.
Number 14 or number 13 now is A Serious Man.
A serious man.
A Serious Man is described as a black comedy on Wikipedia. I would like to dispute this.
I never saw it on BET.
A Serious Man belongs to a Coen Brothers subgenre that they've made 2 movies of that I would like to call Jewish man horror, where the horror comes from you being a Jewish man in society and all that befalls you as a Jewish man in society, where your wife hates you and wants to get a divorce. No one likes you at your job. Everyone's bullying you and pushing you down. And a second that you show any sign of like umption or moxie, you are immediately put down again by the man. No one cares about you. And you dream of trying to attain something, but you never get it. It is, and I just felt so fucking miserable watching this movie.
Crap.
Like, go for it, man.
Well, no, this was one in my blind spot too, and I think this is the last one in my blind spot. So I don't know. Yeah, from everything that I could see about this movie, you're on the money. Let's just look at the Wikipedia really quick. I'm going to read off everybody's name very fast, and the characters in the cast: Larry Gopnik, Arthur Gopnik, Cy Abelman, Judith Gopnik, Annie Gopnik, Sarah Gopnik, Rabbi Marshak. Oh, rabbi and actor, 2 rabbis. Holy God!
There's 3 rabbis in this movie. There's Rabbi Scott too. Let's not forget Rabbi Scott.
Fuchs Finkel played a guy named Dubik? ?
Yeah, that's the opening scene of this movie is probably my favorite part of this movie, where it's like a Jewish fairy tale, where a guy comes home.
I don't want to think.
Nah, okay, then we don't have to talk about it.
Sorry, a Jewish fairy tale. Okay.
Yeah, it was like I felt miserable watching this movie, and the way the movie ends, it's like things might be getting better for him, and then it's very quickly going to get worse for him. And the whole time he's basically like, "Am I meant to suffer? What's the point of me suffering? Tell me, Rabbi." And the rabbis are all worthless, and shit sucks. And yeah, that's the movie.
If you like Yiddish, this might be your thing, but that's not for us.
Every
Number 13.
Every Coen Brothers movie on Wikipedia, or just about everyone, someone writes, "This is one of the most high-regarded films of the era it came out in," and I'm like, I mean, if you say so. I mean,
hey, remember to wipe your mouth when you're done. All right.
Yeah. All right. No, that was number 13. Number 12.
12. Now we could finally get into some meat and potatoes, right?
So, I think we have a couple more before we get to like masterpieces.
All
but
right. We're almost there.
These are ones that I still think are like, again, good, like fine. The Man Who Wasn't There for number 12.
The Man Who Wasn't There.
The thing about The Man Who Wasn't There is that is a film noir movie, but it's not. But it's a Coen Brothers film noir movie. It feels like they're doing their own thing, where the guy is not like a detective; he's a barber. He's not a criminal mastermind, or no one in this movie is like a criminal mastermind. No one. Yeah, James Gandolfini's in this movie.
Credit.
Yeah, when he popped out, I was like, wow! I got very happy, very excited, and then he was basically doing like discount Tony Soprano, which is like perfectly in line with his character, so it's fine, it works. And yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I liked that it was their own weirdo film noir with like its own dialogue and own whatever. Would I recommend it? Yes.
When did this one come out? It came out in 01?
2001? Yeah.
They definitely had like a feeling of themselves, who they are, and they got themselves the usual suspects in their cast.
Yeah,
we got
Francis McDormand.
We got a John Polita.
Got a Tony Shalhoub.
Tony Shalhoub. Yeah, God, I really love Coen Brothers movies. And they're no stranger to any noir type film. If you ask me, this one didn't really leave that much of an impression on me. But I'm fine. What? This is number 11.
Number 12.
Number 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Number
not
12.
cracking top 10 for me, but it's all right at number 12.
It's young Scarlett Johansson is in this movie, and it gets kind of weird with young Scarlett Johansson, but
as it often does with young Scarlett Johansson.
It's this movie and Eight-Legged Freaks. Shout out to the movie Eight-Legged Freaks. We don't have time to talk about Eight-Legged Freaks this week.
Buddy, we're running behind schedule. We need to take this in overdrive.
Okay. All right. So yeah.
All right. Man Who Wasn't There. Number 12 or 11.
Number 11.
Number 11. There you go.
The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Buster Scruggs.
Here's the thing. We're starting to get into contentious territory, but it's just it was just literally that every movie above it I liked more. But I liked Buster Scruggs, and I also ranked all the shorts within Buster Scruggs because I decided to be that this week.
Oh Jesus, man!
Yeah, I think the Tom Waits one where he's the gold prospector's at the bottom, and then above it is the James Franco First Time.
Oh yes, him being hung, a classic,
yeah,
a great meme.
The one above it is the girl who got rattled. That's the second to last one with the wagon trail. The one above it's Meal Ticket. That's the Liam Neeson one where he's takes care of the guy with no arms and no legs. The one above it's the carriage ride with all of them at the very end, and then the one above it is of course the Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Buster Scruggs himself.
It's very strange, I think, to open with your best thing and then proceed for another 2 hours.
Yeah, God, I think that's like the first time that I ever watched it. I was like, "Wow, that's super hot." You know, it's like beautiful, really great way to start off blazing. And then
most people went into this
lost
movie.
Interest over time.
Most people went into this movie thinking that was going to be the movie. I don't think everyone knew that it was. I certainly didn't know that it was going to be like a short story thing.
Oh, this is a collection of skits. Is what you're telling me?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know it was. Yeah, so a lot of people like immediately attached to Buster Scruggs because he's such a strong character, and then that story's over, and then it's like, oh, now we're going to do this 5 more times. Okay, like
there's something about that guy who plays Buster Scruggs though.
Tim Blake Nelson.
Tim Blake Nelson.
He shows up one more time. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, well, we will get there. I don't know. I know where it comes from. He was in the whatever Hulk movie.
Yeah,
yeah, and he just looks so wet and disgusting in there. So now he's like associated to a frog in my mind. But
I first know him as Mr. Pendansky in Holes, and that's how I see him as constantly sunburned with sunscreen on his nose, like being really condescending. He's a good actor. He's a fantastic actor.
I like him. I like him, and as Scruggs, he is very fun. So yeah, I like that. That's a good ranking right there. Number 11, Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
All right, number 10.
Top 10. We're in top 10 range.
We're in top 10, baby.
Bangers all the way out.
I genuinely think so. Number 10, I have Burn After Reading.
After Reading.
Their spy movie that they did with Brad Pitt and George Clooney.
You know, I watched that on like TNT as a child, and then a few times after. Yeah,
that seems okay. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely Coen-y. You know,
my favorite scene in that movie, which I feel is the most Coen-y, is John Malkovich and Brad Pitt in the car. John Malkovich's character, who has shown that he can't stand idiots. And he hates talking to idiots. And Brad Pitt, who is the biggest idiot in the world.
He's
just such a fun dynamic to just watch.
He's the jockey dude in the fucking tracksuits in that movie with the fingerless gloves.
Yeah. And he's like, and they got secrets and codes and shit and codes and secrets. Richard Jenkins.
I love to see Brad Pitt have fun with that role. You know, it's like how often does he get to be a total dumbass?
Very rarely, very rarely. Even in like Bullet Train, where he's not like the brightest tool in the shed.
He still has too much competence.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Having him be a total bimbo.
Yeah, Burn After Reading, he's just a big dumb asshole, and I love him. But this is one of the last ones I watched, and it was really like at this point that I'm like, man, everyone in these fucking movies is like cheating on their spouse and like planning to divorce them quietly, and it's like everyone's cheating on everyone hates one another, and there was like a miserable tone that just sort of like at the end of it I'm like, oh my god, like even more of this, huh? George Clooney's cheating on his wife is cheating on him. John Malkovich's wife is cheating on him.
I feel like this. Well, no, this is the movie that has the most of that.
Yeah, it was like almost every character is like doing it with someone else. And like, this is. At one point,
started off really nice with Blood Simple. It's just one kind of cheating thing going on, and then a murder. And this is.
Let's actually go through. Let's actually go through the list of what we have now. Miller's Crossing.
Orgy-ish.
People are cheating on one another. Intolerable Cruelty is all about people cheating on one another. Lady Killers, not so much. Buster Scruggs, not so much. Man Who Wasn't There, yes, that's one of the major plot points. Hudsucker Proxy, no. Burn After Reading, yes. Serious Man, yes. Blood Simple, yes. 6 out of the however many movies we've talked about thus far have like
I'm
cheating
sensing a theme, Coens.
All throughout your career. All throughout your career, even.
They're just fascinated by cheating, they are.
Fascinated. They love it.
Tilda
Swinton gets called a cold bitch, and I think that made me laugh. And then she calls the other lady a cold bitch, and George Clooney has to be the mediator on that. I think that's very funny.
Oh, Tilda is the very fine featured woman. Yes.
Yes, the androgynous woman.
Yeah. She reminds me of like a hairless cat.
That's a very good description of her. That's an excellent description of Tilda Swinton. I'm not sure if we're going to see Tilda throughout the rest of the list, but
no. She jumps forward to the what do you call him? The Wes Anderson shit.
Yeah. Well, no, we see her one more time, and we'll get there.
We'll get there.
But yeah, Burn After Reading, I think, is actually a good movie. I think it's very funny that the CIA plot throughout the whole thing is them just going, I don't know what the hell. I don't know what's happening. And then they just sort of they're like, once it's all solved and sorted, they're like, all right, did we learn anything? Like, did anything happen? And then they just close the file.
Everybody's stupid. Isn't that fun?
Yeah. Sometimes that is very fun.
All right, we got number 10, Burn After Reading. And God, everything's going to be really fast and loud.
Yeah.
So
okay. This is listen, and before we start, getting contentious about shit, let me again clarify. I think all of the ones above are like masterpieces, like wonderful.
These are all good films.
Number 9.
Problem with it? Fuck up.
Number 9. I put Barton Fink because I really liked Barton Fink.
Barton Fink, yeah.
Barton Fink is like a serious man where it's labeled as a black comedy, and I disagree. As soon as he steps into the hotel, it becomes a horror movie. As soon as he talks to Steve Buscemi, and Steve Buscemi goes, "My name's Chet," and gives him a piece of paper as soon as he gives him a piece of paper that just says "Chet!" exclamation mark on it, it's a horror movie. As soon as he calls down to let the front desk know that someone in the room next to him is being loud, and you can hear the conversation of the phone ringing, neighbor picking up, "Hello? What?" Puts down phone, opens door,
the tracking shot of the footsteps outside. It's like,
holy! I was, and then it turns out to be John Goodman, and then John Goodman's like, "Hey, sorry, buddy." It's this whole film is it's such a dreamlike movie too, where
lovable teddy bear John Goodman
playing playing a character. This may be one of my favorite John Goodman roles.
It's real sweaty sumbitch. Apparently, the role was written just for him,
and he's perfect for it. He's wonderful. He plays, And this is probably the film that if I had to write an essay about, I'd probably write it about this one, just because I think I could get so lit critty on this movie, of themes of intellectualism versus the common man.
Holy crap! And there were multiple times in the movie when it was Barton was talking to John Goodman's character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Yes, that's what I want to write about. The common man." It's like, buddy, I got some stories to tell you.
And he just runs over.
It's like, yes, you have stories. That's what I'm trying to say. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, Barton.
Yeah,
multiple times where I said out loud, it's like, I think I hate Barton Fink.
I love how that culminates too in their last scene together, where he just shouts, "You won't listen!" Like, and then as the hotel is burning down around them, like, just and what a fucking scene too of like the detectives walking into his room.
Oh my god,
handcuffing him to the bed, and then you hear the elevator running, and you're like, "Oh my god, he's here!" Yeah.
And then there's fire everywhere, and see that's one of the things where it's like, okay, time to put my metaphorical hat on for a second.
Yeah, what is really real? What is real in this movie? I thought this was a realistic movie. Apparently, that
obviously
it got criticized.
Not. From the moment Chet wrote the Chet thing,
again, exactly. It's like
for some really goofy shit.
And every interview he has with like a studio executive, like it may have like a nonsensical tone to it, but it's not necessarily like comedy. Like when he's talking with Tony Shalhoub, and Tony Shalhoub's like, "Writers come and go. We always need Indians." Like shit like that, where it's like sometimes that's just like it's dream talk, it's dream logic. This feels like the most David Lynch movie out of all the Coen Brothers movies, and I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, one criticism: can't stand his hair.
How frizzy it is.
John Turturro's hair pisses me off. Also, his dancing at the end of the movie pisses me off. A little too Jude for my tastes.
He's dancing, and he's immediately shown to not be part of the common man because he dances like a dork. Yeah, and then he gets in the. And then he's like, "I speak for the common man. I'm a writer. You ingrates." Like
out to war. It's like I'm better than you. And there we go.
Know who I am.
Okay. Yes. Incredibly Jewish screaming from Barton Fink at the end of the movie.
And then at the very end, he has like the typewriter and the box. I love that the box never gets opened, or the package never gets opened. That's so good to me, especially since John Goodman's literally. I know, but John Goodman's literally like, "It's not mine. I lied to you. It's someone else's." So it's like you're like, "What's okay? You thought you knew what was in the package, but now you don't know." And he's talking with the lady.
What's in the box? Yes.
He's talking with the lady, and he's like, "You're very pretty." And the first thing he thinks of is, "Are you in the pictures?" And she goes, "Don't be silly." And that's such like a very good ending line of like, it's just ambiguous enough that leaves it open. Of should we not like the movies, or is it like what does she think about what does she think about what he just said to make her say that? It's a very again lit gritty movie that I found myself being actively drawn into and kind of want to watch over and over again, even though it is at number 9 on my list. Yeah,
for as much as they were talking about Common Man in this movie, your average Joe probably isn't a big fan of Barton Fink.
Maybe not. I liked when he was watching the wrestling movies and it was the same shot over and over and over again.
That hurt. That really. I will destroy him. All right. That's enough about Fink.
I will destroy him. Yeah. All right.
That is number
9. That was number 9 on my list.
Number 9.
Number 8. I put Raising Arizona.
Raising Arizona.
Oh, yeah. I'm so glad to hear that from you. I really am. Because I thought,
oh god,
it's that movie's such a delight to watch.
It's the first time. Okay, because I did try to watch a lot of these Coen movies in order, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this popping in at like number 2 of their big releases it's like, oh wow, this is like hope for the future right here.
Yeah, because it sort of feels weird that it appeared as early as it did compared to everything else, right? Because it's like around it you have like Blood Simple, Hudsucker, and Miller's Crossing, and then it's just the second one is Raising Arizona. And it's like Raising Arizona is like, I don't know, it feels like a movie that could have come much later, and it feels really good.
It feels like there's shit that I enjoy, like they're really good at writing these type of like off-kilter comedies,
Yes.
And I thought I saw like somewhere they said it's like we just wanted to make a movie that was the complete opposite of Blood Simple,
and they did.
Like, oh, a good one. Well,
yeah,
be my guest.
A good movie.
And wow, Nick Cage in that. For as much as I like to clown on Nick Cage,
now it's perfect. It's now one of my favorite Nick Cage roles because it's again. It's a straightforward and honest character that I completely understand, and I love it.
When he sees the dude on the bike, the fucking evil guy.
Heck Tate as like the writer of death.
Yeah,
the fourth horseman of the apocalypse.
Apocalypse Man.
Yeah, he breathes fire and shit. Like it's like just weird enough that it sort of fits in this like because it's like almost like a fairy tale, right? It fits in like this fairy tale world that there's like this actual monster of a man who can like ride at supersonic speeds and shit. Yeah, who's basically the devil.
Hold on. The chase scene where it's like, he stuck up the little convenience store for the diapers.
Oh, I love that.
It goes on for like 8 minutes?
And
almost 10 minutes.
I think it's delightful. Son, you got panties on your head. Just drive.
Exactly. And they used the same song, I think, that they used in a movie that's higher up on the list for that entire sequence. And that was a pleasure to watch.
So, Holly Hunter, who plays the wife, Edwina, in this movie. So the thing is that when the Coen brothers were just getting started in Hollywood, they lived in a house with a bunch of other people, which included Frances McDormand, who, be in their movies and go on to marry one of them. Holly Hunter, Bruce Campbell, who is like,
no way.
We haven't talked about Bruce Campbell a whole lot in this list. He shows up in basically every single one of their movies as like a cameo appearance, or at least in like up to a certain point where he yeah, and then also Sam Raimi. Like all these people lived together in the same house, and they all went on to like do their own. And that's why like a lot of the early cinematography, like the shot in Raising Arizona, where it's like the bike going over the car and up the ladder into the window, is like the most Sam Raimi shit ever. But it's like
hold on, in the middle of the Sam Raimi tidbit right here. He was in Miller's Crossing.
Yes,
that's just random goon with gun.
And who gets shot up immediately.
And I squinted. I like rubbed my eyes and looked at the TV again. It's like,
is that a Raimi I see?
Sam Raimi?
It's a Raimi I see.
And he fucking dies. It's so. Just needed to bring that up. But yeah, obviously there is a lot of Sam Raimi influence in their style, especially these earlier movies.
Yeah,
and a lot in Raising Arizona.
Yeah. It's mainly cinematography that I was able to see, as well as like, a couple of things of like sound design, like the roaring of the guy when he gets like struck. Any
first person kind of zoomy camera work, that's Raimi, and apparently that's a roommate right there for him. So
I also this is like one of the first movies that the first movie that they made, but also the first movie on the list that I think you can really talk about, like how they're able to write like southern country-ish characters, and it feels like completely it doesn't feel like they're making fun of them, but it feels like good, funny, honest dialogue. Like whenever High is in front of like the parole board and they're like, we're just trying to, there's recidivism, that's the word for people like you, High, and he's like, I don't want to be here either, sir. And they go, okay then. I don't know, it feels good, it feels right.
For some, I'm assuming New York Jews in these Coen brothers, they have like never mind, they're from St. Louis Park, Minnesota, but they spent a lot of time around New York.
That explains why A Serious Man takes place in Minnesota. I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. Where I'm like, Minnesota, that's a weird place to stick a few Jews. What are we doing here? All right.
Quite odd, but yeah, they do have kind of a thumb on the pulse of something Southern. I can't really tell you.
Something. It felt very nice. It felt very good, and like, not wholesome's the wrong word for it, but just this movie made me feel
not wholesome. They steal a baby.
Yeah, they steal a baby. Well, it's I like, even the premise is like, yes, just saying,
that's
like
what you say. It's like, oh, look, they're committing crime.
Well, just like even the premise of like they steal a baby, but like it's the whole thing is like there's 5 babies, we can afford to steal one. Like they're not going to miss one of their 5 babies, right? Like
her hands are full.
Yeah, exactly. We're almost too much for us, they say in the newspaper.
All right. Okay. Well, Raising Arizona, number 8.
Okay. Number 7, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Really, 7?
I really like the movies above Oh Brother, Where Art Thou.
6 movies are higher than Oh Brother, though. That's
listen, I didn't think that was going to be it going into it either, but it's just sort of it's how it found its way. Because I really like, that's the thing. I really like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? The music is phenomenal. Again, the honest country acting by most of the, like, Everett McGill just going on a long-winded speech and then Delmar saying something stupid is like the perfect comedic 1-2 every time. I love it. When
You know how many times like
I'm the Dan Pater for
out of nowhere, I'll be like, no, I'm a Dapper Dan man, damn it. You
know? Perfect. Well, we don't got Dapper Dan.
We got what's the name of the other group?
I couldn't remember. I'm trying to remember. It's like pomade or something like that. No, pomade is just what it is. It's like
foam or something.
Oh, we got foam.
I need to look this up. You could yap for a second.
It's loosely dictates. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is loosely based off the Odyssey, and it's you can the main character
for the first time. It's like what, and then it's
main character's named Ulysses. There's a Cyclops. He gets reprieved by a higher power. He's being chased by a man who might be the devil. It's yeah.
The pomade is called Fop.
Fop. Oh yeah.
I don't want Fop. I'm a Dapper Dan man. Damn it.
Yeah, which is you two are dumber than a bag of hammers. Just like there's so much dialogue just from George Clooney's character that like you can construct whole like cities out of it. It's beautiful. But there, it's based off the Odyssey, but a lot of it is reversed and kind of played for jokes. Instead of like he's coming home to a wife who's ever faithful, he's coming home to a wife who divorced him and is going to marry another man. Instead of multiple suitors, it's one suitor, and he's actually pretty cool. When he tries to fight the suitor, he doesn't win. He gets beat the shit out of him.
That's a common theme in the movie, though.
Yeah, where it's like things don't genuinely work out, and even at the end, he's not really a changed man. When he gets on his knees and has like his moment of redemption, where he prays for God to intervene and save his life, he's baptized in a river that washes over him, and then he comes out being like, well, weird things happen for a reason, and while I may have been pressured at the time, I don't certainly feel that way now. like even when he sees the cow on the roof of the cotton house, he's like, well, these things, like, which was told to him is going to happen at the very beginning of the movie. He's like, these things happen, like, whatever. Why are we so concerned about shit like that? Like, I love it. It's great. He's such a good character.
Yeah, okay, wait. Tim Blake Nelson delivered one of my favorite lines in that movie, right? Mm-hmm. When he got baptized and he's jumping out and it's like, I've been washed clean from the blood of the Lamb.
It's very good. Yes. Very, very good.
It's absolute. I love that movie. I'm excited to see what you put in front of Oh Brother. 6 films in front of Oh Brother.
6 films in front of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Let's get to them. Let's get to number 5.
Number 6. Number 6. This may be low according to some people. I put Fargo at number 6. Fargo has the best woman character the Coen brothers have ever written, because she's not.
Obviously, it's a wife.
She's not a shrill harpy, and she's not a dummy. Every other female in these movies, not to generalize in the Coen brothers filmography, but almost every other female in these movies are like shrill harpies looking for divorce, or like dummies who don't know any better. And that's not what Marge is. Marge Gunderson is a very smart woman who has a loving wife and is a very good police officer. Yeah, she knows which questions to ask. She knows how to really. She's like Columbo, where like when the car salesman guy, I forget his name, played by what's his name? When she's asking the car salesman guy if any cars are missing, he's like, "Listen, I'm in charge here. Like you can trust my word on it." And she's like, "Just like I know, and I hate to bother you, but I really need to see that list. It'd really help me if I could see the list of cars you sold here." Like, it's like she's just weaseling her way in like a very good way to solve the crime of people being murdered. And again, very simple setup of like, hey, I'm paying these 2 guys to kidnap my wife so I can get a ransom or whatever from other people. Incredible. Like it's again, everything's played fantastic. Things that should be a joke are a joke. Things that aren't are played seriously and work. The Peter Stormare, when he's in the back of the car at the end of the movie, and Marge is like, and all those people killed, and for what? Some money? That's like it feels so sincere and like a very good
accent work is amazing from everybody.
Yeah.
Like I don't think anybody's going to be able to watch this movie and not try to do it just a little bit,
Oh, you bet. And everyone's and even when it's like it's like 2 people talking like that, where it's like, I have to disagree with your detective work there. I think he was writing down dealer plates, and he goes, "Oh, Marge, I wasn't even thinking of that." Like it doesn't feel like they're making fun of people. It feels like it's just a picture of the world. You know.
Also, you got to remember these guys are from Minnesota.
Yeah.
They get it. And yeah, a great example, because you've seen like a lot of these movies have some kind of really weird shit going on with the plot, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is at least, relatively to the Coens, pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
But damn, and I can't believe 6?
I put it at 6. Listen, there's movies coming up that I very much enjoy, and I'm surprised how much I enjoyed them.
Yeah, this has to be like one of those movies that they've shoved in, like that big vault where it's like, this is historically significant or something. Like Fargo is probably their most. Oh dang!
I disagree.
Famous work.
I disagree. I disagree immensely with that statement of it is their most famous work, and we'll get to what I think is their most famous work.
All right. Hey, no, they make a lot of bangers. We're only in banger territory right now.
We're again. What I said a few entries ago applies. This is only bangers. Like we reached a point where it's just bangers.
Straight heat.
All
right. Let's
Number 5.
Go.
Number 5. I'm surprised how much I like this movie. Inside Llewellyn Davis.
Inside Llewellyn Davis.
This
is one that snuck away from me.
You didn't watch it?
When I was going through all of them, I was not able to watch this.
Okay.
But I was like, I was like, what the fuck am I looking at? Is this like almost the way that it's set up? It's like you'd think it's like some kind of biopic look, but
it's kind of it's based off of a biography of a folk singer who was alive in New York around the same time as Bob Dylan and whatnot. But it's Llewellyn Davis.
That's what I thought. Where it's like, is that a Bob Dylan thing?
No, Bob Dylan appears minorly as like a character in this movie at the very end. But like Llewellyn Davis is a fictional character of a folk singer living in New York for a week, and he basically the thing about him is that he once upon a time he was a duo act with another guy, and he's no longer a duo act, and he put out a solo album. And the solo album isn't doing that well, and he's trying to make do. And you just see you see inside his life for a week, and he is an intensely broken character who, like, just at the wrong times he self-sabotages himself like twice. But really, it's every person looking at him and being like, "You're a loser," or "You're a bum," or "I don't think you're good enough to be a solo act." And all this stuff, and it's him just sort of trying to, again, find it within himself for like a week. There's a particular song that repeats throughout. That's an actual song. That's called "Fare Thee Well." It was a famous song made famous by Bob Dylan, really, but it's like a song that's been around for like forever.
How does it feel?
Like a lot of folk songs, it's been around for forever. And who made it? Shut Up.
Who made it? A black guy.
And you find out throughout the course of the movie that his partner that he was a singing partner with, his partner committed suicide, and now he's just sort of left on his own. And this song is like the song that him and his partner would do, and it keeps repeating as like a motif of a song. He doesn't want to perform in front of people when it's like not professionally because it's a job, and that's someone starts singing that song and he tells them to like shut up, or like his partner gets insulted by John Goodman. John Goodman's character at one point like calls his partner a dumbass because he jumped off the wrong bridge, which is like a very, very dark conversation, but it got like a dark chuckle out of me.
It's like it sounds incredibly Coen.
It's incredibly Coen, and at the end of it, he's not in a better position than he was when he started, but you feel like maybe he's found something different within himself. And I'm at the end of the movie, I'm rooting for him to be better. Even as other people around him still think that he's a fuck up and that he's a bad person. I'm finding myself rooting for him at the end of the movie. And this movie genuinely touched me in a way that I didn't think it would. The folk music certainly helps. That's like genuinely my jam, is being able to listen to the music while stuff's happening.
Is a white man.
I'm a white man who plays acoustic guitar. A lot of this music
is right up your alley, huh?
This is right up my alley.
I am going to watch this just because it is high up on this list.
I can't wait for you to hate it.
Oh, thanks, baby. No, we're gonna have some fun off-camera conversations about this for sure.
Okay.
But wow, above Fargo.
Yeah, above Fargo. Again, this is my personal. Fuck what the world says that this is the best movie ever. This is my personal list. This is my list of these are what the Coen Brothers movies mean to me. Number 4.
Okay.
Number 4. I love me a Western. I love me True Grit. I love me True Grit.
I knew it had to be at least in top 5. True Grit is what a fucking film.
True Grit is. So I grew up on Westerns. As an easy I watched a lot of Westerns when I was younger. My mom was really into Westerns.
Hey, and
so we watched. When we found out that they were making a True Grit movie, my mom goes, "Oh, they made one in like the '60s or '70s with John Wayne."
Duke, yes.
So we watched the John Wayne one. I read the book, and then I was like, "This book, they change a lot of stuff in adaptation between book and movie one." Yes. And then I watched the Coen Brothers movie, and I was like, "Man, this is so much closer to the book." And I like it, and I really do.
I like that.
Oh, I like that. The main thing about this movie is justice versus revenge. What is the correct thing to do in the face of
Yeah,
and how far are you willing to go to get that revenge is the thing. And Haley Steinfeld's first movie, or like her first major movie, and she was nominated for an Oscar for it. She's fantastic. Jeff Bridges is like a lot of people. Yeah, this is like another one of those things where it's like I think of Jeff Bridges and I think of him in this movie. It was like one of the first things. It's like
he's Rooster, bro.
He's Rooster Cogburn, man.
If Jeff Bridges is not Rooster, he's the dude.
Yes,
those are icons right there.
And it's really like a straightforward modern Western. There's not really to make it anything else, but man, it plays well. It plays so well.
This is a funny one to me because, obviously they did not write the original story, right?
No.
But as we know, the Coens can play with other people's stories very well.
Yes.
And this
we're gonna get to one more. We're gonna get to
yes, we are. Yes, we are. And I'm very happy that it made it up this high. But not to jump the gun. True Grit is, I think, probably the best Western made this century.
I mean, yeah. I'm trying to think of another one. Maybe Bone Tomahawk is good, very good, but True Grit is stands above them for me. I agree with you.
It's fantastic. I mean, everything from I'm a sucker for small details too, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And just they nail the look so perfect in this movie.
Yeah, it's everything is God. Yeah, you peaked. So I'm not sure we're gonna be able to get too much of that, but man, that's good. Yes, that whole scene is I could probably quote it front to back. I mean to kill you, Ned, or drag you back to Fort Smith and see you hanged at Judge Parker's convenience.
Judge Parker's convenience.
It's such an iconic. I call that bold. Yeah.
I'm a one-eyed fat man.
And even the end where it's you flash forward however many years and. It really is a film about the West being a place where once the West has been conquered, people like Rooster Cogburn have nowhere to go. Where do the Texas Rangers go when there is no frontier to find? Where do the people like Matty Ross go when there's no Western to conquer anymore?
That's a throwback to Raising Arizona, where he's like, I come from a long line of adventure types, frontiers.
Yeah, it's in my blood.
Yeah, and damn, there is not too much frills or fluff with True Grit, but it is a fantastic Western. Number 4.
Number 4. Number 3, crowd favorite, Hail Caesar. Hail Caesar is a movie that I don't think Hail Caesar doesn't hit a wrong note for me in its entire runtime.
Anytime Hail Caesar's on, I have to watch it.
Yeah.
And I know, I know a lot of you assholes don't like Hail Caesar.
Do a lot of people not like Hail Caesar?
It was not the most well received movie.
Wow. I mean, I just plain disagree. I could watch the scene where he's talking with the religious leaders just every day, on loop.
Oh, what Christ! What is
You
this
think-
video
you think-
talking about? God is a bachelor, and he's angry. What is he gonna have next?
Dog? What does he have, a dog? I love that they give the Jewish guy all the best lines, and at the end of it, Josh Brolin's character is like, "And what do you think, Father?" And he's like, "I don't even have. Or what do you think, Rabbi? I don't even have an opinion. Like, I don't have an opinion."
Okay,
he does
okay.
nothing but whinge and complain that whole scene, and then he's like, "I got nothing." Like,
that whole scene is fantastic, dude. You have the three other religious leaders doing like this kind of little dance, where all of them are choosing like these very little delicate words, and then the Jewish guy is just the sledgehammer punching through everything. It's like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? I don't even know why I'm here,
Yeah. Would be. We're not supposed to show the what is it? Where it's like there's not supposed to be images of the God, but Christ is not the God, so we're okay. Like something like that.
Yeah.
And Arlen Emmerich, who plays Hobie Doyle. Hobie Doyle's not dumb. Like this is what I'm talking about. Where it's like they could have made Hobie Doyle a dumb character, and he's not. He just has he just has a funny accent. Like when Eddie Mannix is like, we're having problems.
It's gonna be fancy,
yeah. Things are disappearing, and he's like, I would check with the extras first. The extras, you never quite know what they're thinking on set. Like, and he's right, and he's like absolutely correct. Like. He's such a and then when he's talking to the banana lady guy for what's her name? I forget the character's name. Whatever.
Oh, the hips, lips, eyes, and thighs. I remember.
Oh yeah, hips, lips, eyes. It's all on the hips, lips, eyes, and thighs.
Oh man, that's everybody did such. Okay, this is a massive ensemble movie, right?
Yes, and
all tied together by Josh Brolin being this kind of. In a way, he's a detective,
Yeah, he's a private eye.
For the purposes of this story, he is solving a crime or a case, whatever. But every single vignette that you see going throughout this movie lot and all of the characters that are involved are all so perfectly realized. It's amazing.
Yes.
Like, the Ralph Fiennes bit. Would that it were so simple.
Yeah, twere that it were so simple. It's complicated. That's like one of the best payoffs to any like long form scene like that ever.
To guys like us, that's the shit. That is amazing. Yeah. And I'm thinking why this movie did not do so good is because your average Joe Schmo will try to shoot themselves during that scene.
Yeah, but that scene's perfect. That why would you change any iota of that scene? It's so good. The hesitant pause before he first says cut is like, oh god, it's beautiful, masterpiece, cinema in itself. Like,
okay, and yeah,
when
everybody knows the writing on the wall. Putting Hail Caesar at number 3. What's coming next is going to be amazing.
What? Here's a couple more jokes. When they're at Jonah Hill's office and Scarlett Johansson's like, so
throwing her boobs at him. Yeah,
it's like, does stamping make your forearm strong or whatever? Jonah Hill looks up and goes, "It's part of the job, man." Like, it makes me laugh so hard. And then at the very end, when they're filming the last scene of Hail Caesar, and it's the what's your name, Todd, and he's playing Jesus, and he goes like, "Are you a principal or an extra?" And he's like, a principal,
I don't know.
The guy who's playing Christ, who we don't see his face of throughout the whole movie. A principal, I think. Beautiful. Wonderful. Exactly as it should be. It's so good.
Very, very, very good. George Clooney's... his speech there was like, whoa, it feels old Hollywood, and it feels convincing, right up until the point he fucks it up.
Yeah, and he's like, faith, you gotta have faith. And it's like, yeah, you got through most of it, man. Like,
yeah, and then he does that little like head tilt, and then, that's pretty much it. Wrap up the movie.
Yeah, and Eddie Mannix's character also goes to confession pretty much every day. Cinema. I love it.
Hot. That guy, bless him.
Okay,
he's like,
number 2.
How long's it been since your last confession?
He looks at his watch, he's like, 27 hours.
Away.
And it is 27. The priest goes, you don't have to do this so often, son.
Okay.
And he's like, I lied to my
number
wife.
3, we love it to death.
Yes.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Oh, what are you going to say?
No Country for Old Men. Listen,
yes.
I can lie to myself as much as I want. No Country. I saved these last 2 for the last 2 movies I watched because I thought in my mind like, yeah, they're probably going to be the best movies I watch. They're probably my favorites out of the Coen Brothers collection, and they were. So one of the, like we talked about earlier, Blood Simple, certain elements you see bleed through into later of their work. The opening part of Blood Simple, where it's like the country Texas landscape, as M. Everett Walsh's character talks about, like men and how, like, the nature of man and all that. It's the same thing that they open this movie with, except it's Tommy Lee Jones. It's a much better speech, and it's like it leads to like the rest of the movie. Like, that's what I'm talking about, where it's like you can, and I sort of pogged looking at No Country for Old Men. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was in an earlier movie, but worse. And now we're here. Like, and now it's so good. Again, this is a movie where it's a lot of silence, and it's a lot of watching people do things or waiting for things to happen. And I think it's perfect. Like, it's
my favorite thing in movies. Like, if you are really telling like a story, it's better to show and not tell. And I feel like this movie epitomizes that rule.
So much of this movie is watching Javier Bardem and Josh Brolin like prepare weapons or like put
you can visibly see somebody's thought process without them saying a single word. It's like you're just following them so perfectly.
And then the couple big scenes of like the couple big scenes of like major dialogue between characters who are planning things. It's like Woody Harrelson and Javier Bardem in the hotel room.
Oh yeah, when he's like, "Buddy, you're already dead,"
Yeah, like, and he doesn't have to say that, but it's just like, I know where the money's going. He's like, I know something better. I know where the money is, and then it's like, I know something better. I know where it's going. And then it's like, okay, he's fucked. Like, there's no way this man's getting out of here alive. Like,
yeah, and once again, this is the Coens playing with somebody else's baby right here. Like, I have the book. I still need to read it. No Country for Old Men by Cormac McCarthy.
It's pretty faithful. It's pretty faithful, and Cormac McCarthy knows how to write a story, and the Coen brothers pretty much stick to it. Like,
Blood Meridian. What?
Blood Meridian. So yeah, it's 2 hours, and God, it feels good to watch a 2 hour movie that feels like it's 2 hours. You know what I mean? As opposed to watching like a 2 hour movie that feels like 4.
That's exactly right. Like, this is a long movie, but it doesn't feel any shorter or longer than exactly it needs to be.
That's correct. And I remember watching this with my dad for the first time, and I'm a yapper when it comes to movies. I like to talk and like make jokes and discuss like certain shots and whatnot.
Me three.
I don't think I said like a word during the first time I watched this movie.
No, this is a shut up and just kind of like go on the ride kind of movie.
Shut up, idiot! A schizophrenic stoner's talking, and he just made No Country for Old Men. And it's very good. It's so good. But it is only number 2 on the list because
you already know what's number 1, baby.
I can't deny it. I can't deny my inner nature. I watched it a couple nights ago to reassure myself that it was number 1 in my heart, and it is The Big Lebowski.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yes. Times like these call for a Big Lebowski.
A king above the rest. I don't think anybody here is going to find any problem with us putting Big Lebowski at number 1.
When you said Fargo is probably their most famous movie, I wanted to quibble with you slightly because I would argue it's The Big Lebowski because
it's 1 and 1A,
Yeah, exactly. They have festivals around this movie. They have where people just show up dressed as characters and just quote the movie the whole time. I saw this movie young enough that it irrevocably changed the way that I talk and think. This movie. Yeah, like, well, what I'm saying is, like, when I first saw this movie, every line, like, I immediately was like, this is the best form of comedy that you can do. It's just like this, no one's listening to one another, everyone's talking at the same time, every bit of dialogue is like someone else's own story, and it's so funny. Yeah, exactly. It's just that, you could literally just that scene, show that scene to people in film school and be like, this is comedy. This is peak. You're not going to get any better.
You want to know what funny is?
Yeah,
this is it right here.
When the dude's just going, look for who benefits, and then John Goodman's going, that fucking bitch, and Steve Buscemi is going, I'm the walrus, and no one's talking to one another. but it's a dialogue that you would have with friends or like with just people you're bullshitting with. It's great. It's so good.
Okay, because this movie is bordering on the weird Coen fantastical,
Yeah.
scale here. Not as crazy as Martin Fink, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't shy away from a fun little dream sequence every now.
Oh, there's a couple real fun dream sequences.
Flies off the fucking handle right at the end of the movie is still to this day. No matter how many times I watch it, the end of the movie is like, what?
Yeah, you feel something when you're when it gets to them on like the cliffside and they do their whole thing, and then Walter goes like, "Dude, I'm sorry," and like hugs him. You feel it. You feel it.
Oh,
you feel it in your heart.
Hill 342.
Long Dock, Gang 12, Hell 364.
Okay. We're just gonna finish this with quoting this movie to death, like the proper autists we are.
Yeah.
I think at least once a month I have to say,
on the dude's rug.
This isn't Nom, it's bowling. There are rules.
I sometimes find myself when it's like, and you can imagine what happens next. He fixes their cable. And it's another thing where like Jeff Lebowski's or the dude is not he's not a really dumb character. He's kind of a dumb character, but also
your dad's in that movie.
Yeah, Sam Elliott. And yeah, it's okay. So the dude's not a dumb character. He solves the case before anyone else does. It's just that he's a stoner. He's a stoner, and he's not always there all the time.
Yeah, that's just not his priority,
Yeah, his priority is where can I get my next drink? Where can I get my next?
Dang, I just really want to chill,
Yeah. Where can I bowl
next? Looks like the very little ittiest bit of the roach, like the entire movie.
Yeah. So, strong men also cry, and then he leans and he's like, "Oh, fucking A! Oh, fucking A!"
What about the Chinaman?
Oh yeah, it's just like, look, at least I'm house. Obviously, you're. Oh yeah, when he like holds up the bowling ball, it's like, obviously you're not a golfer. Movie's movie's great.
Yeah,
I feel like out of like we've talked about this before in the past. I feel like our dynamic is very much a dude Walter dynamic that we can switch roles to whoever needs to be.
Oh, absolutely.
Time.
I was thinking about that for a sec. It's like sometimes I feel very Walter, and sometimes I don't.
And then sometimes I'm the guy going, I can get you a toe and by this afternoon with a painted toenail.
And oh crap! Would you look at that?
We wrapped
this up. Yeah. Okay. But listen, we went through 18 movies.
18 movies.
18 movies. This was fast for us. Minimal yapping, straight heat. Coen Brothers. Damn, everything passed. Everything, even in like 11 and 12, dude. Great films, but once you get into that top 10, they're all bangers.
It's really up to and you at home would have to watch them to distinguish them on your own. But this has been our list, and we've been talking about it.
Yeah.
Well,
I know you're gonna.
That's just like your opinion, man.
Oh my god!